Welcome to Connecting the Community podcast. I am your host, Marge Andre. I will be connecting you to people, organizations, and events that create community. I am creating this podcast in Richmond Hill, an eclectic and very culturally diverse community with lots of trees and streams and interesting people, just up the hill from Toronto. On this podcast, I'm talking with Anders Lindfors about this year's upcoming Richmond Hill Rotary Club Beerfest, happening soon, Saturday, August 24th, happening at the Richmond Hill Center for the Performing Arts. Welcome, Anders.
Hi, Marge. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's always great to talk to you. Very enthusiastic, and I love all the things that you do, including this Beerfest. So let's start talking about what's your role or roles for this event, and tell us about the history and when did it get started?
So the first craft beer festival was back in the fall of, I believe it was 2012. So the craft beer festival, the Richmond Hill Craft Beer Festival, I mean, it's a fundraiser for the Rotary Club of Richmond Hill. It all came about or started actually because as a member of the club myself and with co-owning a pub in town, King Andrew's Arms, I was seeing these events starting to pop up around. There was nothing really north of the 401 back then. You know, honestly, the my pub was one of the few that was even carrying local craft beers, and that's kind of crazy to hear when you think about how
Yeah,
ubiquitous craft beers are now,
exactly.
and shows how much things have changed. So. With some support from some key members at the Rotary Club, we did a proof of concept event. But then we had over 250 people attend, like 5 or 6 vendors. It was a great night, and again, it was at the Richmond Hill Center for the Performing Arts, which is such a great venue in the core part of town. So this is the 11th this year. So myself, along with a dedicated team of Rotarians, every year we plan this. We work with a lot of great local vendors to put it on and raise some funds for charity.
Okay. And so your role is everything. Basically, you direct things, you market things, you liaison
Yeah,
with the breweries. Is there anything else I'm missing?
with this, I kind of, like I said, I have a great team
Yes.
that's there to support, but really with my experience in the industry,
Yeah.
this really is something where I'm the one who reaches out to the contacts. I'm dealing with a lot of the breweries and distilleries. A lot of these businesses are either are places I've already done business with or are partners with. Or one of the great things to do is again, I really do try to focus on them being actual craft independent breweries. So in a lot of cases, we'll then also showcase those breweries at the pub as well over the course of the year to give them some extra exposure within the community.
Okay, very good. Now, let's talk more about the event. It's certainly more than a time to drink beer. What else is going on?
So the event I mean, first, yeah, you don't just have to drink beer. One of the great things is as that whole marketplace as well. One of the things is so you're going to be able to we'll have some wine sampling happening at the event. There's going to be a ton of different beers to try. You're also going to see some craft ciders. And there's going to be several options to try some different some you've been hearing the news recently with the LCBO strike, but the RTDs, the ready to drink cocktails. So there's going to be actually a couple ready to drink cocktails available there as well as then some sampling from some local distilleries. So them actually then mixing drinks as well. So it provides a really nice variety. So you don't have to be a beer drinker to enjoy the event. And then on top of it's a music showcase of local talent. We have some amazing local bands playing. So there's music throughout the night, live entertainment throughout the night, and then we got there's tasty food to have, and it has really grown. This is I personally like to think that the event has gotten to the point that it is a marquee community event in Richmond Hill in the summer. It's been happening now for long enough, consistently enough. I mean, you'll see everyone from pretty much all the local politicians, on every level of government to
Mm-hmm.
kind of everyone that's sort of involved in the community. I like to think it's because it is such a great social event. It's not crazy expensive. It's in the center of the community at a beautiful venue. And again, what I always like to stress is 100% of the proceeds from the event go to charity. And one of the beautiful things about Rotary is there's no overhead.
Yeah.
Everyone's a volunteer. So
Okay.
every dollar that's actually raised then goes to make a difference somewhere.
Very nice. Okay. We started talking about entertainment. Liam Kelly is the MC. Known him for a long time. He's a funny guy. I like his dry sense of humor. So I'm very glad that he is your MC. Jim Quantz from Flyball Governor's Band. He said,
Yeah.
Marge, have you been talking about the Beerfest yet? I said, yes. So he's going and enjoy his entertainment. Who else do you have?
Yeah, so I mean, Liam Kelly is our MC. Liam Kelly is a local
Yep.
Richmond Hill, born and bred. He's a local comedian. He tours quite a bit. He's a great person to have up there because he knows the community. He's great at just kind of keeping the event flow and keeping everyone smiling. Um, in terms of, I'll list off quickly. I'll list off some of the breweries there first that we have
Okay,
coming. So we
certainly.
we have
Yep.
those. We have everyone so people know what to expect. Bose Brewing, which is one of the OGs in the Ontario craft beer. Bose Lugthread was probably one of the first craft beers many people did try. And then we have Blood Brothers Brewing. We have Last Straw Distillery, Rouge River Brewing, which is from just close by here. Town Brewery. We have a Spy Cider House and Distillery, which up from Collingwood, and then there's Storyteller, Indie Ale House, Catapult Brewing, and Side Launch. So all of these are small little breweries from everywhere from Toronto up to Collingwood. We have the couple there from Collingwood. So there's a great variety and a great representation of what you can see sort of as a cross section from all the craft breweries. And then, as you mentioned, yeah, we have music all night long. So first up, we'll have the JD and Shane Joseph performing as a duo. Both names may sound familiar to people because they perform at all the music festivals around. Their husband and wife duo, Shane Joseph, actually hosted the open mic at King Henry's Arms for years.
Hmm.
And he's interesting enough, he's also a award-winning home brewer who at some point may actually end up getting into doing it commercially as well. Then we have the band Excel, which is a big like soca band. They actually performed last year. They were a huge hit. Nice big band, big sound, perfect for a nice summer day out on the plaza. And then we have, as you mentioned, we have the Flyball Governor Band, which are known throughout. I've seen them pop up. They perform at pubs around town. And then we have Between the Static, which is also a bunch of local guys who are awesome. They performed at the beer festival in the past. They've also performed at the summer concert series down at the pond. They have a nice, great big sound, big cover band that playing some great hits and crowd pleasers.
Whoa. Okay, so that's a lot to look forward to. And the event starts at 4 o'clock, and you'll have entertainment starting shortly after that. Is that correct?
First band starts quarter after four, so
Perfect.
the event runs from 4 to 11. So night, but there's music throughout the night. People can come for part of the night, all the night. But there's entertainment throughout.
Throughout. Okay, very good. Let's talk about the food. King Henry's Arms is serving food. What will you be serving?
So for the pub, we're going to be there. We're going to be doing one of our staples, which is our sort of mini meatball sub. So we have our homemade meatballs that we bring with sauce, and we do a little meatball sub. There's one of the options. All we try to, because of the nature of it, we try to do everything in a way that's easy to carry around and eat. So it changes a little bit from the format from the pub. We're bringing our fresh nacho chips with our homemade chili and queso. So we're going to have that there. We're probably bringing our jumbo pretzels. I'm still honestly figuring out a little bit of a menu to make sure that we complement the other food vendors well. But we'll have a great variety of our stuff. And then the other confirmed food vendor right now is Chicken and Dough Express they're in Richmond Hill at Young and Elgin Mills. So they're actually known for their messy chicken wings. So they have these delicious chicken wings that are sort of sauce with some crazy sauces, and they bring all that along with their fries and some of their other menu items. And they were actually at the event last year and were a big hit. And they enjoyed them so much that they came back as well. So we're gonna have that, and I'm still working on actually trying to see if we can add a little bit more variety to the food offerings for the event.
Okay, well, you've got me hungry already. So there's hungry and a hot day. That's like we've had. You're gonna want that cold beer and those chicken wings and your stuff too. So that sounds excellent. Uh, so you said there's about 600 people. So that's what you're expecting, and they sort
We're
of come all up different times. And is there a good time to come?
That's right. So the event historically we've had been between 400 and 600 people through the doors, depending on the year. So the great thing about, I will say, the event is rain or shine. The
Yeah.
beautiful
Okay.
thing about the
Thank you.
Performing Arts Center with the plaza and the way the building hugs around the plazas, what happens is if it does rain and we do end up with bad weather, we are just able to shift everything inside. So it means
Good.
rain or shine, you don't have to worry if people have tickets. The event will be. I think the nice thing is if you come early and you're coming for the first 3 hours, you may not see all the bands, but you're not going to miss out anything. You're going to have a great time. You're going to enjoy the event. If you want to come for the later half, come for the later half. And again, the same thing, you might miss out on a great band, but you're not going to miss out on anything else. All the vendors are there, everything's there throughout. In general, over the years, that's generally what we'll see. You know, the event is 7 hours long. It's a pretty long time to hang out and drink for anybody. And which, by the way, there will be some non-alcoholic options from some of them
Okay.
available there as well. So, but I suggest like people come when they want to and stay as long as they do. It's a lot of people will walk in, or again, because it's center of the community, you can actually take public transit. There is plenty of parking, but you know, of course, we want everyone to be responsible and make the best decisions in terms
Okay.
of transport.
Right. So public transit, Uber, Lyft,
Yep.
get can get you easily home. Okay. You've talked a little bit about networking. I just remember as being a great networking event. Like I talked to so many people, and it was an amazing event. So I give you credit for bringing together such great people.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, it's grown into a staple community event in the summer. It is such a great sort of open. The venue's awesome. The location's great. We've created in such a way like this really is as I even sell to the vendors themselves. So it's when we call it a craft like a craft beer tasting festival. This really is something where people are coming to sample and try. It is really about exploring and trying new things and finding new things out. And I feel like with that, it creates a really great social vibe. And like I said, you'll see everyone. It is one of those events. You generally see everyone you see around town, you'll usually see at the craft beer festival at some point throughout the night.
Yeah, like I have to give an excuse for why I didn't make it. So yeah, it's I
I
was like,
like
why
hearing
were
that.
you
That's
there?
good.
Yeah, so it's a fun night. So all the good people come out. So I hope to see lots of good people. Okay. Yeah, there's for me, there's a real this fear of missing out. So FOMO, it's something I've heard before, and I think it certainly applies to this event. So I want to ask about the Rotary Club involvement. I have a very high regard for the Rotary Club as an international organization. They do some amazing work. Uh, is the are the profits from this going to something specific, or is it general for the Rotary Club, the local one, international? How does that work?
So in this case for this year, some years there is a specific project heading into it that we know we're going to be funding, or this, I say we as in the Rotary Club Richmond will be funding. All of the money does is raised goes into sort of the charitable coffers for the Richmond Hill Club that then get distributed between organizations they're working with. So I mean, you'll see them around town. I mean, they're regularly volunteering and supporting the Richmond Hill Food Bank. Same with Hill House Hospice. I've seen with 360 Kids. There's a whole bunch of things. There's historically we've done programs like coats, giving out winter jackets with the Salvation Army. Really, what it comes down to is one of the neat things, like I mentioned before, one of the great things about Rotary, both locally and internationally, is um, everyone's a volunteer. There's no overhead costs. Um, when there's money that's earmarked for charity, that is going to a cause. It is, and the best thing is, so locally, what will often happen is local groups, when they have a project they're working on, they'll actually come present to the Rotary Club and actually get funding for that specific project. So, and I actually personally really like that model because then it's you're talking about a real plan for the dollars when they're going to make a difference instead of just throwing them at a
Yeah.
general cause. And when we work internationally, that's also the thing that is really cool about Rotaries because Rotary is so international. There's chapters throughout the world. If you look when you're traveling, if you wherever you are in the world, if you look around, you'll see a Rotary sign somewhere.
Hmm.
And so what ends up happening is when either through communication through clubs or from a charity approaching the local club, the money actually gets directed through the local Rotary Club. So, you know, wherever you're doing that project, be it in the Philippines, that local Rotary Club will then help facilitate both the money going to the cause, but also facilitate that work happening. So the nice thing is you have people on the ground that, again, are doing it for the right reasons, are there to actually work within their community. So I just find it an awesome, efficient way to make a difference.
Very good. Yeah. And there certainly will be lots of Richmond Hill Rotarians at the event, so you can have a good conversation with people about what Rotary is all about and hopefully get some new members and some more support from the community because it's yeah, you guys definitely deserve it. There's a lot of great people with your club. Okay, the tickets for the event, you can go online. I'm going to put the link in the podcast notes, and they're $30. So you can buy them ahead. If you buy them through Eventbrite, you get two complimentary tickets, drink tickets, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, and say you're thirsty and you want to try more than two beers, what do you can buy
So
extra
yeah,
samples?
so to clarify, so advanced tickets, you can buy your tickets online directly through a Rotarian. We actually have tickets for sale at the pub, and tickets are also at King Henry's Arms, Yonge and 16th. There are some tickets also for sale at Neil's Taste of the Island next to the venue. He's historically been a big supporter of the event. He unfortunately just can't be there this year, but he'll have physical tickets there too. So if you buy your tickets in advance, it includes two sample tickets with that. Now, sample tickets for beer samples, one sample ticket gets you a 6-ounce sample. So that you're getting two 6-ounce samples included if you buy in advance, as well as you're getting a sampling glass. So you actually get a commemorative glass at the door on your way in. So that's another little bonus for purchasing your tickets ahead of time. Tickets will be on sale at the door at the event if you do walk up, but those tickets will be $30, but it won't include the sample tickets. The sample tickets, we kind of use it as a universal. Tickets are $2 each. Those are sort of the universal currency at the event. With food, you're still going to use sample tickets to pay for the food, but in the case of food, it may be 3, 4, or 5 tickets for the menu item, depending on what it is. And there will be, again, with some of the beverages, like I said, we have such a large variety that there will be certain beverages, let's say, with the wine servings, just because most cases, people want a little more than an ounce or two of wine in glass. So, we'll generally it'll be multiple sample tickets for that just to get a larger serving. But, it's all sample tickets. You buy the more sample tickets there. I do recommend if people can bring cash because it just makes life a little bit easier. You can use card there. You will be able to use card both at the door to buy a ticket and also inside to buy more sample tickets. But there is only one machine. So I tend to recommend if people can bring cash just because it makes things a little easier at the event.
Okay, thank you for that reminder. Okay, anything else that you want me to know about the event?
Uh Wow, like I said, I mean, I think we've covered really all the bases, other than the idea that it's if people haven't been out, I really suggest coming out. And as we've talked about, this is a really great community event where you get to meet a lot of people, speak to a lot of people, you get some exposure to some small independent businesses, and at the same time, every dollar is going to support charitable acts. So it's a great, if you need a reason to come out for even a little bit on a nice sunny Saturday, August 24th, come out, support local, and at the same time, meet some new friends and enjoy yourself.
Okay, so you're gather some friends and get together and head on over. So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the event. So thank you so much, Anders, for talking to me. But before we end the podcast, I always ask the same question to all the guests. I've asked you before, so I don't know if you're going to say the same thing. But name just one thing you really like about this community?
Well, I have answered this question before, and my answer is kind of always going to be a little bit on the same. As what I love is, I come from the hospitality industry, so I love the diversity in our community, and with that, the diversity of restaurants and foods to try. Really do encourage people to go out and explore community and explore the local restaurants. We do have a really strong, diverse scene, and you can try food from so many different places around the world. And honestly, I don't think people realize just how high quality and how high rated a lot of the restaurants we have in town are. I think we all take it for granted a little bit.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Well, that was a good point to end at. I really really looking forward to the event. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you're running over to your restaurant now, but we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Arch, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for helping to bring attention to this great event.
Yep. Thank you for listening. I would very much appreciate you sharing this podcast. Please tune in next week as we continue to explore the community. Consider emailing me at Marj, M-A-R-J, at marjandre.com. I welcome suggestions for podcast guests. Stay well, stay connected.